I think it has the capacity to be something really special, even just with the vibe, with the collection of people. Like definitely on the like I said, well, on this side of it, being over here and being mostly on the music side of it, um, it already feels special. But you know, I have yet to hear what they've done over any of the stuff we've done over here. Like I've heard what they did over like some stuff Tico and TBG made.
Yeah, yeah.
Aaron was working on something I think maybe they made as well, but I haven't yet to hear any of this stuff get recorded.
Only Rich.
Rich?
Only Rich's intro.
Oh, the intro. Okay, that's what he was
Did
doing.
you hear that?
I didn't hear it. No, he showed me what he wrote, but I didn't hear it recorded.
It's strong.
Yeah.
It fits the music very well.
I had no doubt that it would be strong. It's Rich.
Yeah.
Jeff is convinced that Rich is going to get us all deported out of the country. Which is fine. Hey, you know what? There's a part of me that's all for it. I feel like now is definitely a time that it's like, look, not that there's like nothing to lose, but it does kind of feel that way. It's like, you know, what we might as well say everything exactly the way it is in our minds because of the fact that it's, you know, now is definitely the time for people to hear that. You know, if on the other side of things we have these people that feel liberated by kind of like this, like, you know, not to say that everyone is, but like this kind of like racial liberation of like, oh, now we can do what we want because our president is kind of this way. You know, then on the other side of it, we should be able to do the same thing. To be like, okay, if y'all are gonna wild out, then you know we're gonna say exactly what's in our brains, what's in our minds, and I think for artists especially, it's important. You know, I've always looked at artists as being kind of like the other journalists or the other, you know, the other people who are sort of like you know, telling the forecast of what's really going on, and from a different perspective. We're artists, so everything is from a different perspective in that sense. But the caliber of artists that we have here and the writers that we have here, just be very interesting what gets said, and you know, and especially like you have Rich lighting that particular fire, so
yeah, and that's like
yeah,
that's how it starts. So.
Yeah, exactly. Because I heard Eric Roberson say that yesterday. He said, "I wish we would have heard that first, you know, before we did like the first two. Then it would have like maybe like." But I mean, there's still time. That's what I'm saying. But if they've only done two before they heard Rich's thing, like. It still means that it's a potential for the rest, the 80% of the rest of the record to still follow in that vein, which it doesn't have to for it to be good, but I think it's, you know, I think it's the time for it, and it's kind of needed, so we'll see, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I mean, what time is it now?
The music's strong. You know, I have the last sessions and the retreats, I think this is the most goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, you know.
Yeah, which you know isn't a knock on the other sessions. It's just I think like we were saying before, like because you have artists that have worked together before.
Yeah, now
there's a rapport there, and there's kind of a
the synergy is
there, and there's kind of a rhythm that everybody falls into. That it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. What you're doing. I know what I'm either gonna do or not do. And at the end of the day, it's been magic. Pretty much every day I've been, you know.
Every day.
Yeah, every day there's at least like a couple to, you know, several moments of like, oh wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and the sound is getting there as well.
Yeah.
Like the kind of the 20-minute jam yesterday.
That was, and that again, that speaks to, I think what I'm saying is like the fact that Jeff can walk in the room and be like, let's do some Afrobeat. And then have everybody just go.
Yeah.
And then make this incredible 20-minute like Afrobeat joint. It's like, I don't feel like that happens anywhere else. Like you can't just like shout out a genre of music and then have like something of that quality like pop off. Like, you know.
Out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, wow. Like sitting back and listening to it, I was like, good Lord. Like it's almost scary.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There were so many moments within that, like listening back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rhythm section was tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Drainer on drums, Coyote on percussion. Oh my gosh, I feel like I know other bass players that are great, but I don't know what it is about the way he plays. It's like, you know, and Jeff kind of has this like, yeah, it's like a warm hug, like it hugs you, the sound or whatever. But like, just his instinct, like, was very crazy. Like, cause I mean, you're talking about a 20-minute jam over Afrobeat, and I felt like, as much as the percussion, everything was driving. Every time he changed like little subtle like lines, like it was adding like new life to it.
Yeah.
Because you know, he'd just kind of be laying the cut, just kind of like this, and then all of a sudden he'd go to this, and it was like, okay, now it's like something different, you know, for another like 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. He locks in.
Yeah.
And then once he's locked in and gone, he'll bring a melody to the table. Yeah. And it's the crazy melody on top of that.
It was like, man, like I don't remember.
He's great.
I don't remember being around another bass player like that. It's insane.
Yeah, he's very instinctive, as you said.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He's really feeling what's going on, and he's very considerate. When to lead and when not to. Yeah. And that's a sign of a good player.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a good, you know, when you have a rhythm section that understands that, you know. 'Cause, you know, that's the thing that could get lost in everything with everybody, when you got everybody sort of shredding at like a high level, that you'll lose sometimes like that cohesive thing that makes it sound like a band instead of just a guitar center. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
You good?
Nah.
I wolf out very quickly. The shadow gets a little. Nah, it ain't bothering me.
All cleaned up now?
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
You ready to
These
cut
other
now?
gentlemen are around, so you know.
You can't hear now. You
right.
can't hear now. You can cut over there.
Yeah, man. But you guys are talking about sessions.
Yeah.
This is some pretty incredible stuff. What can be said that hasn't been said? Like, everybody that's here and all the experience that everybody brings here, you know, their own individual walks and journeys, you know, maturing as musicians, artists, producers, all that, and then just this culminative, you know, just everybody coming together and bringing the best out of each other. And it's like it's dope witnessing, like, you know, you guys coming in the room, like leaving for a second. There's all these different pockets of creativity. I'll step away for a little while, I'll come back into that room, and another jam that's like world class. And just and it's the other thing about it to me that's wild is like how quickly everybody just like, dude, I've already told you, like, I had no idea. I really thought you'd be sitting there, like, I thought you were standing there, like, doing banking or something. I'd just be seeing his fingers moving, I don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm hearing these drums thinking there's somebody. I thought there was somebody in the kit, like, on the kit. And I'm seeing you just, and I'm like, how are you doing that? And it sounded like legitimately like somebody killing it, like flawless. The feel is like authentic. It's like organic and just everything. It's dope. It's crazy. So on that note, I just want to be able to say thank you.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
dude, no,
being
man.
able to witness you guys do your thing and the vibes that's being created and being able to be a part of that. So it's an opportunity for me, you know, for me to be able to say thanks.
Hey man, likewise, man. Like I was just telling him, I'm super excited to hear what it sounds like when it's all done. And you know, like I was telling him, like, yesterday was like the last time was the first time I got a chance to really go over to the house. Yeah. And sort of be like, I saw Aaron record a little bit, saw you record like a little bit, and it was like, okay, it like raised the level of excitement, because it's one thing to be a part of the music, and that's super fun. But like to hear, like, you know, to hear what the song might sound like is always pretty incredible too. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I got to record Glenn Lewis last night.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, man.
I must have bought 5 people your album as a birthday present.
Thank you, sir.
When I was at college.
Yeah, man. I remember that. And it's funny you say that about that whole, like, kind of bridging the gap. I remember having the Red Star Sounds, the volume.
Yeah.
And it was something I kind of bought on a whim. It was like, oh, there's a bunch of people here I've heard of, some people I haven't. Yeah. Oh, and I remember playing it. I was with my mom. We were rolling around and I was listening to it. And my mom really loved it. she hadn't heard of anyone on there. She was like, she didn't know who Jill Scott was. She didn't know, she didn't heard of anyone on there. And she's like, so this is what you listen to? And I was like, yeah, this is some of what I listen to. Of course,
right.
I'm a hip hop dude, so there's other joints too. But I'm like, she's like, this is really interesting. It's like it's a newer version of what I felt like, you might have heard us playing around the house when you were a kid. And I'm like, yeah,
right, yeah.
That's kind of what it is. And I remember you very clearly like having kind of similar conversations with other friends who had conversations with their parents. It was the same thing. It was this, all of a sudden there was this connection happen of like, oh, okay, like, oh, that sounds like what we used to do back in the day. Yeah, listen to, yeah, that's how you was born. But
right.
So it's very cool, like, to hear that was kind of the, that was kind of the mindset, because that's the way it felt like on our end, that it was like there was like this new movement, and to know that everybody involved in it was also very happy to be involved with it.
Yeah.
Because I do remember for a minute, like, there was a while where it felt like people were reluctant to accept the neo soul tag, like there were people who didn't seem to like it. It was like, nah, why you gotta?
Because you know what it is? It's like the constant, like, you're breaking things up, you're separating everything. It's like R&B music, or rhythm and blues, soul music. It comes from the same place. A person's style and their approach is whatever. That's just how they voice whatever it is they do.
Right.
But to constantly like, oh, this is gonna be in this box over here. Like I understand why people would do it, but I think I think some folks I would hear, like you said, like some people were like reluctant to take on that tag. I think mostly because it's like, why wouldn't you want to see a show where, like, even then, like, to see a show where, like, I don't know, who's a good example at the time? Like, if it's Joe, like, or something, or Mary J. Blige, which is like R&B, or what was considered like R&B. And then even if they're sharing a headline with a music, or with like Mary J. Blige, Musiq Soulchild, or whatever, you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Or like Eric Benet, who had, he had kind of like that balance in between, but he had that soul thing too. Like you could do all that, and there were packaged shows like that. But I think sometimes people are afraid of that separation, because if somebody wants to turn the switch, if they want to turn it off, they're like, okay, now neo soul, that trend is done. And it's like, yo, that wasn't a trend. That's my lifestyle. That's me. That's how I communicate. And that, and essentially, in a way, that kind of happened. So it proved to sort of be true. But all in all, man, like, great music is great music. It's amazing to see this come full circle, and like, us loving the stuff that inspired us, or bridge things, or got us through things, or set the mood with whoever. Like, you have certain albums that you associate with certain relationships, and all of that. Like, to see how those albums and those artists influenced, and those producers influenced us,
right?
And that passion drive us throughout our whole lives, and being in different situations, but then to come together for something as unique as this situation, like real powerhouses. And I know that the joke is told over and over again, but the whole Jefessor X.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's real, like him being that centerpiece, that nucleus of everybody just coming together, and this being what it is. It's like,
absolutely. Because we were kind of just talking about that too. Like, it's incredible. You would think with this amount of people, just the number of people that they would, like, at any given moment, it could switch up the vibe to something you don't want. But it takes a person like Jeff, and him knowing people, not just the caliber of artists, but knowing people, knowing that, okay, if I get these individuals in the same room, like, this is gonna be dope. Like, this is gonna, like, it's gonna accomplish this, and it's amazing to watch it. Going back to even the first retreat, because you would say, okay, to get that collection of people in one room once is another thing. To make it happen twice and add people on that is even crazier. To have the same thing happen in the sessions twice is equally incredible, and because every time it seems to just kind of like elevate to a level where you're like, okay, how much better can this get? Like, it feels like every time it's a step up from the last thing. And I think, I feel like, listening to Ivan and carving these people talking, even Dre, he's like, yeah, this reminds us of kind of the way we used to work back in the day.
I got a chance to witness that. Man.
It's like a newer generation of what we were doing, you know, so many years ago. So for me, that's like the biggest compliment, because, you know, that's like, you know, kind of what you were saying is like, yeah, I looked up to, you know, like to your record and all these people's records and music and everything that was coming out of the whole Philly camp and everything that was like, you know, you were saying like you being and all going down to the 444 studios, and like that was me listening like, oh man, I wonder what it's like to be in the room there, like what it's like to create with some of these people. So I was, you know, I was in awe, you know, not only meeting you at the retreat, but, you know, meeting Ivan, meeting Carv, and meeting Dre, and meeting these people, because like, you know, without knowing their faces, as soon as I heard their names, I'm like, oh, that's such and such record. Yeah. That's, you know, whatever. That's probably, that's the Sunny joint. That's, you know, Butterfly. You know, that's whatever. Like, I was like, yo, like, so it was a huge compliment to hear everybody kind of collectively say that, yeah, it's like, I feel like what's going on right now is the same vibe of what we were doing back then. And so.
And it's no accident, because it's like Jeff's had a unique set of experiences, like you said, in knowing people and just playlist and the concept of it, you know, how, you know, mixing one song into the next and how each complements the other and sets up the other. Yeah. And similarly, like the people that are here, like how he's sort of, well, not even sort of, he brought everybody together in a way that the environment is ego-free. Yeah. And everybody is about the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody's like, yo, what can I do? Yo, where I jump in at, and just
everyone finds their space too, and it's so perfect. Like that's one of the things I noticed from the first sessions we had. Even the first day, it was like, you know, it was pretty much just me, Daniel, and Kaidi the very first day of the last year's of sessions, and it was like instinctively, number one, we just knew, all right, let's make some music. Yeah. But then, you know, number two, it was like, you know, the quality of what was being played, even as rough as it was, you know, the first day was like, it was like, wow, you know, and I remember getting compliments from people who would see the videos and stuff posted. They were like, oh man, it was like, how long y'all been playing together? It was like, this is the first time we not only met, but like actually played together. And again, that like sort of again speaks instinctually to Jeff and him sort of knowing, like, you know, I see him sitting in a room at night going, moving chess pieces, like, and that's what it feels like. He seems to know or have this magic touch for, you know, who to sort of put in the room together, and I feel like that's probably definitely where it started, you know, all those years ago.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like we've all sort of seen, I'm sure, like documentaries here and there, like you hear about Motown, Stack Days, and whatever else, and how they did it. Like everybody came together and, you know, helped each other on one another's projects. I just think a lot of the things that are happening socially, like just outside, it's like people are kind of. It's funny, like I feel like this echoes what's happening on the outside. Like people are having to like pull their resources together, and I mean, like bartering is something that's never entirely going away. But I'm just saying, it's like people now are, you know, realizing the value of strength in numbers, you know. And I mean, not to say that's a concept that's like it's always been there. I'm just saying, like particularly like right now, and just times feeling somewhat tight, and maybe people not entirely happy with, you know, with their situations or just how things are being run, you know, worldwide, and you know, you end up having to rely on your neighbor a little bit more, you know, like, you know, there's no point falling for the you know, the trap of like, you know, I gotta take care of me and my family and forget everybody else. It's like, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. It just, that whole village mindset or the community mindset. Once, you know, if you have a community that's tight and they know one another and folks are able to look out for one another, because it's that mindset of what happens to you can easily happen to me. Right. It changes everything. Like you feel a lot safer about your child in the neighborhood, and it's just from the simplest aspects of it, and it's just a ripple effect of, you know, of even greater things. Similar to this working environment, it's like we're able to see ourselves in the next person. At least that's how I feel. It's like everybody here is just, you could see there's a desire to give. You know what I mean? It's like we've already been through the, you know, a lot of us have already been through the machine, and you realize that it's impartial, and that it doesn't even respect the culture or it doesn't really respect it. It's at the end of the day, it's a numbers thing, and I understand it. Like I don't even, cool. It's like there has to be a business side to it, sure, but I think the one thing that I find is such a simple concept, and I don't understand how it gets lost, is, but on the creative side, you gotta let it breathe, and you gotta let the heart of it, it's gotta be healthy. Like you
gotta nurture it.
Yeah, you can't just
the right environment.
Yeah, just being under that constant scrutiny of deadlines and this is the budget, and Ivan put that perfectly yesterday. Just talking to him yesterday about it. It's like it saps you because instead you're thinking about I have to do something to impress whomever. And imagine having to deal with that pressure every day of I have to look a certain way in order for people to like me. Like, I mean, within reason, take a shower, use some deodorant, yes. But you know what I'm saying? You understand, just as a sidebar example, but speaking of creativity and art, like you need to be yourself. It's those unique nuances that make a producer and an artist's signature and what makes people fall in love with them, because there's something about that just feels so personal and so exclusive. As soon as you start putting the clamps down, it takes the very essence of it, the soul of it out. Chasing numbers. It's like, to me, I don't know, when I didn't know any better, from the outside looking in, like the way that they would invest in particular artists, and from album to album, it was what it was. If the artist got a little bit experimental, the crowd would go with that journey. If they step out and they do something, they're in a different place in their life, and whatever it is they express, maybe they just had a baby, and there's a certain kind of positivity that comes through that, their creativity, and people will go along for the journey with that, and we grow together. That to me is like, and that's what this is. Jeff recognizing that and the importance and the need for that and the timing of it couldn't be more perfect. And the person doing it, just his sensibility, his experiences. Yeah, and it's not just for sake of just it's really recognizing it for what it is. I'm so thankful for him, because he's like literally one of the few people in the game. Like there's a couple cats that have always been genuine that that I've met here and there, but for the most part, people get caught in that. I gotta take care of me. I can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like Jeff having that mindset of I'm good, like, and I know so many talented folks. This shit don't make no sense. Like, let's come together and let's have some good food. Good conversation, and
which is crazy
roll.
Because I feel that I think there's a bunch of people I know who felt the same way, where it was like it's a crazy situation to be in on a consistent basis, because you're dealing with this person that kind of owes you nothing. Like it's like okay, and I think initially everyone's kind of like, I remember even like a couple of my friends after like the first retreat, and they were like, well, like, what do you like? Are you gonna have to pay him, or like is there some sort of transaction? And I'm like, no, it's consistent with everybody tells me just who Jeff is. Like he, on a very simple basis, he just wants good people and good music, to be, sort of brought to the forefront. And so, if he can find both in one individual in each individual case, like it seems to be what he gets off on. Like it's not necessarily about, oh, let me see what I can get from this person on top of me, like giving them this platform or this forum to sort of do what they do.
Yeah.
It's like no, this person makes incredible music, and I just want people to hear it. Or this person is a really good person. I just want people to hear what this person has to say, or to be, people to be exposed to it. And that seems to be it. And it's like, it's a difficult situation, I think, for some of us, because he's like, we want, at least for me, I can speak for myself. I want so much to be able to like, to reciprocate that, but it's impossible. Like, because
no, not necessarily. It's just in small. Like, to me, I think it's funny, Jeff. The kind of like the moral of the story, or the side note is like a leading by example thing.
Right.
And I'm more than certain he's aware of that.
Right.
But essentially, we're giving of ourselves, we're giving of our time in this situation. We don't, you don't necessarily know where it's gonna go, but I find that everybody has a similar mindset where there's, you're hoping that what music has done for you, you're able to do for other people.
Sure.
So us coming together, like, that's a big part of the objective and what drives us. But what's cool is like from the personal perspective of watching Jeff do this, and you're like, wow. To me, it's inspiring to kind of go, okay, to whatever capacity that I can help, whether in this situation or independent of it.
Yeah.
You know, just giving of your time, and you know, as much as you know, I think most people if they could, they would. If they can help you, they will. I want to say that I would like to believe in that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I think seeing someone live it, you know, and lead by example that way, it's inspiring. So even, you know, basically what I was saying a second ago to you is just even in the littlest of ways. I mean, you're doing it right now. You know, in offering your time and efforts and your, you know, just everything that makes you you. So, and then to me, I try to adapt that. You know, what I mean? Just watching him do that, I'm like, okay. And even Lynette, like, it's deep. Like, we're here. This is their home.
This is their home, yeah.
And the way that she supports him, like, cool. What you need? Let me help you. Let me help. Like, that's everything. Like, I appreciate Towns family. Period. Like, it's funny. I know, like, unless people were on the inside of this, they wouldn't understand. Like, I don't know if they would really understand how special it is. Like,
and I think that's the hardest thing to translate. Is people see the videos, they see the clips and everything and stuff, and they say, okay, yeah, cool, you're around all these people and you did this thing or whatever. But I don't think they understand the foundation of it that allows for you know, for that garden to be present, you know, and to look the way that it does. It's like, there's things happening on the ground level. Not only, you know, not of course Jeff and Lynette are, you know, at the core of that, but then the people that are surrounded as well. You know, even, you know, the function, Fern and Dane and all these people, and Shank and all these people. It's like there's this team of people and this group of people that Jeff keeps around him that makes these situations and these scenarios, you know, not only run smooth and like a, you know, that it's a well-oiled machine, but that, you know, the same vibe that I have, you know, that we have, and we can go to other musicians and other artists. We can go to other people, you know, the people filming, and we can go to, you know, whoever's cooking that day. We can go, and everybody has the same vibe. It's just like whatever you need, you know, whatever I'll help you, you know, and vice versa. There's this equal transaction, and that's unheard of. It's unheard of, and it's hard to translate to people like what that is. Besides just, you know, the glossy part.
You a part of a cult?
Right, dude. But for real, I think some people look at it that way because they like. Some of it is just out of, you know, unfortunately seems to be out of jealousy because it's like people that want to be here. Understandably so. I would totally feel the same way if I was watching these clips. Like, man, like I would totally want to be there. But, you know, it's easier to see that and not realize, you know what it takes to get to that point. And everything it takes to get to that point is what Jeff is doing, what Lynette is doing, and the team of people that they have around him, and them also being awesome people is what makes it. You know, I don't want to say seamless because that would be belittling the work that they're doing. You know, to be like, no, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of energy that went into this. But on our part, if we can step into the situation and have it feel seamless, then that's a testament to how great of a job and how great of a team that is, that they can make it feel that it's something you can just step into without feeling like, you know, you have to like metamorph into something, you know.
Hey. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Eric was real quiet. He was just taking it. Yeah.